Good evening, dear Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and above all, dear President of the Council of the EU Chambers of Commerce, Mr. Nevsaka, and as well as the incoming President, Nicolas Simon. The panel discussion was extremely interesting for me to listen to, and I think we could have chosen a better theme than that that we had tonight. Unfortunately, I do not quite share the optimism of some of the panelists expressed here in this room. And let me just show you that the ongoing trade war that we see escalating at a rather rapid pace between the United States and China, we see that with great concern. There might be certain opportunities for the European Union in that. However, what we are concerned about is much more the bigger picture. In fact, this seems to be only a symptom of much more dramatic changes in the international world order as we're looking at it. It seems that the whole world is going through dramatic changes, where people lose faith in institutions, where they lose faith in the world order as we know it today, and where there is a broad sentiment that multilateralism is maybe not the answer anymore to our dealings or the way we should address challenges, where free trade is considered to be maybe a game where we might be losing out, and where other values, systems, beliefs, including universal rule of law, human rights are considered to be something that can be negotiated in a certain way. We see these developments with great concern, and actually our Vice President and so-called Foreign Minister, Federica Mogherini, she said a few weeks ago, the very idea of multilateralism is being challenged more every day. We do not deny that there are problems in this world. We do not deny that there are very important demographic developments that have given rise to international tensions, led to phenomena like migration, mass movement in the world. There are tremendous issues, challenges as far as environmental concerns are concerned. Climate change, but also extremism, and there is a rise in tensions, civil war, and strife. However, we believe that these challenges can only be met in a multilateral system, only through cooperation. And in fact, at the last EU Ambassadors Conference only 2 weeks ago, where the ambassadors of all the EU delegations in the world came to Brussels to discuss with our political leaders challenges, possible solutions, but also key messages to the world. We formulated about 3 key messages that I would like to pass on to you. One is, there's a very strong sentiment in the European Union that we have to work together with partners to address these challenges which I just mentioned. The multilateral system is the system in which we want to operate and we want to work. Sure enough, there is room to enhance its efficiency, but at the end of the day, only within the multilateral system, within the rules-based system, we will be able to negotiate effectively solutions that can be implemented and can be worked for all of us. Secondly, we believe the way we want to deal with our partners can only be done in the spirit of partnership, in the spirit of mutual respect, and very much in the spirit of, let's say, trust. We don't believe in strong-handed politics, where, let's say, like the strong guy takes it all. This can only lead to conflict, to tensions, to problems. This is something deeply ineffective and very much undesired from our point of view. And lastly, despite all the problems that we have in the European Union ourselves, challenges, adaptations to the ever-changing world, I don't want to even go too much into the B word, Brexit and so on. The EU is definitely not withdrawing from the world stage. The times where we have been consumed by discussion on our destiny are over. We have very much realized if we do not take our destiny in our own hands, we'll be losing out. And we can only protect ourselves by engaging even stronger with our partners, with our strategic partners, and among them, definitely India is going to play a very, very important role. So see more of the European Union in the international debate, see more of us in international cooperation, including peace and security, economic governance, but also protection of global goods, including our climate. In this context, the EU-India summit that we had in October last year is, I think, giving a very good example, and is also a very important event. At the occasion of that summit, our political leaders confirmed that the EU and India, we're having both the same outlook on the world. We are the largest democracies. We believe in a rules-based international order. We believe in international peace and stability. We believe in the protection of global public goods. And our leaders recognized that in pursuit of these beliefs, we should actually work much closer together. We have been working ever since to forge our deeper and ever deeper bilateral partnership. Concrete actions have been done. I just want to mention a few of the directions where we've been working closer together. We have been expanding our partnership in the field of foreign policy and security, and we have a number of dialogues going on addressing issues such as maritime security, Afghanistan. We have been discussing on a regular basis issues pertaining to Iran. So there are a number of issues where we see eye to eye and we have common interests, and we actually can benefit a lot in our cooperation. The second field we have been working together very closely is the increased EU support for India's sustainable modernization. These are a number of areas which have also been mentioned by some of our panelists, including circular economy, resource efficiency, water, smart cities, urbanization in general, clean air. And of course, one very important field that we will be working together is ever closer trade and economic relations. We have increased and stepped out our cooperation in the areas of research and innovation with very important calls for joint research projects. The European Investment Bank has stepped up its investments in India, from metro in Lucknow and Bangalore to giving lines of credit to banks, to in particular support mid-sized companies. And last but not least, of course, we want to forge ever closer ties to people-to-people contacts. And this is a very, very important part for our mutual understanding. Let me say a few words on expanding trade and investment ties. The EU is India's largest trading partner in goods and services, and this will even remain so after Britain has left the European Union. Bilateral trade in goods and services well beyond the mark of 100 billion euros. And more than 6,000 European companies have set up shop here in India, giving more than 6 million Indians jobs, and mostly of them are skilled jobs. So the EU is a very important investor and provider of know-how and expertise and technologies here in India. We have launched an investment facilitation mechanism to facilitate investments by European companies here in India. And we're taking forward actively our discussions on a possible free trade agreement and investment protection. Allow me to say a few words on the free trade agreement. In the past weeks and months, chief negotiators have met frequently, and also experts have met on a regular basis to discuss a number of issues. We're currently in a phase where both sides are assessing the outcome of these discussions. Whatever the decision will be, how we're going to deal with this free trade agreement, one thing is for sure: the EU remains committed long-term into free trade and into a free trade agreement with India. And no matter whether we're going to have this agreement now or later, we will work tirelessly together with India to advance our free trade, our trade agenda with the Indian side, and to improve our investment cooperation with India. Allow me to say a few words on sustainable modernization. Only 2 weeks ago, Commissioner Vella was here accompanied by 80 companies. The key theme of this mission was circular economy. And European companies took center stage in our discussion with more than 4 Indian ministers on how to bring European technologies to India. I believe there is huge potential for the European Union and its companies incorporating here with India. This will be not just simply bringing European technologies to India, but adapting them to the Indian market, working together with Indian partners to make them fit for the Indian situation. Lastly, cooperation in research and innovation. I think there's incredible talent in this country, and our interest very much is to invest here, invest in education here in India, and to facilitate mobility of Indian researchers to the European Union in order to conduct research at our institutions jointly with our researchers in order to find solutions which are beneficial to both the European Union and India. There's tremendous potential in that field of cooperation. And of course, cooperation on global issues. While a lot of talk has been there about kind of like what value is there in climate change, even doubting the benefit of fighting climate change, I believe the recent summer in the European Union, which was particularly warm, like the 4th warmest summer on record in history, told everyone we have to step up the fight against climate change. We have to step up the fight for global public goods together. And we are very much determined to work with India together in that field. There was also from one gentleman a mentioning of the WTO. Let me state very clearly, we are very much in support of the WTO. It is the only rules-based organization that we have to protect international free trade. Fading or weakening this organization, we believe, is a huge mistake. And we want to work together with India actually to support the WTO, to modernize it in a way, to reform it in a way that it becomes again the organization that we all would be looking for and to defend free trade. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you that the EU is very much interested in further strengthening its ties with India. We are doing that with very concrete measures, and actually for the first time ever, in a few weeks' time only, we will launch a new strategy by the European Union for India, which will define the way we will conduct business with India. It will be a very broad based strategy covering all aspects from foreign security to trade to investment to green economy, and it will conduct the relations for the next 10 to 15 years. In addition to that, this morning, the European Union has launched a new strategy defining connectivity between the EU and all of Asia. This vision, or this strategy, is encompassing everything in the field of connectivity, not only transportation, but also digital, human aspects, and in contrast to maybe some other connectivity strategy that you might be aware about, it is based on rules-based approach. It will be comprehensive, and it will be something done in partnership, and particularly in partnership with India, which is a pillar of that vision. Let me come to a conclusion. We very much believe in a rules-based multilateral system, not only trading system, but a system of global governance. And we believe that India is a natural partner of the European Union in that respect. We don't only do that for, let's say, short-term business prospects, but we do this very much in order to protect the way we live and we want to conduct business in the future, for this generation, but also for future generations to come. And in that sense, I would very much like to congratulate you on the deliberations we had today. And it was a very interesting event, and I'm very much looking forward also to engage with you future. Thank you very much.